Imagine this, a game where you don't really play. There's no story to follow, no missions to grind manually, no intense PvP, no complicated raids. Honestly, you can even skip the gameplay, but it is still top 29 in charts, sometimes in revenue, and the whole concept of the game is you collect characters, you listen to beautiful music, and that's kind of it. Welcome to MementoMori, a gacha game that at first looks like a background app, the kind of game you open on mute while watching anime or playing video games, but somehow I'm still playing it. And not just playing it, I'm kind of vibing with it. MementoMori is one of the most minimalistic gacha games I've ever seen. I mean, it's coming from Japan, and the top games usually in Japan are AFK games, so this kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it doesn't really wrap around my head. The gameplay loop is basically idle. You log in, collect your offline rewards, maybe rearrange your team, skip a few battles, and then pull on a banner. Done. No urgent dailies, no 15-step menus, no event timers that stress you out. Oh, and the story? It's kinda there. They kinda start you out with the story, and then they don't have any main story dialogue for the rest of the game, except maybe some lore on each individual characters. So what else is there? Well, each character comes with their own theme song, and I mean like actual songs. Whether you got a rare character or a super rare character, you got a fully produced vocal tracks that match their personalities and stories, which is honestly impressive for how much work they put in, even having an English dubbed version of every song, despite not having such a global audience. So the lore is kinda just there, but honestly, you don't really read the lore, kinda just more like listen to it. It's oddly emotional, kind of like when an anime plays a character insert song during a flashback, except here every girl gets one and some of them hit way harder than they should. But here's where it gets a bit weird. Even though MementoMori feels like a chill and passive game, the deeper you get, the more you realize it's not actually that simple. Once you reach around chapter 11, which probably will take you a month or so, the game unlocks an entirely new layer of complexity. Gear and weapon gacha system opens up, and suddenly your team comp isn't just about rarity, it's about synergy. Now, a lot of people will probably complain about wait, what? A new whole gacha opens up just for gear? What about new characters? Well, the gacha system is really nice, and I'll talk a little bit about it later, but basically, you get buff types, turn priority, burst windows, the classic min-max rabbit hole, and it kind of cooks you there, because the game looks like something you can play half asleep, and honestly you could, but it rewards you for at least paying attention to abilities and equipment. If you care about stats and team building, it does have some depth to it. It just doesn't really beg for your time. No burnout, no pressure, just vibe and strategy. You have a lot of gachas with maybe 1% pull rate or 0.6, premium currencies locked behind paywalls, but MementoMori, 4% for high rarity units. Just like Nikkei. Let me state this out. 4%. I mean, that's 25 pulls average. I mean, sure, it's not guaranteed, but it feels fair. You get a decent flow of currency, and because the game is so light on pressure, you don't feel like you're ever pulling out of desperation, more like collecting out of appreciation. Yes, there's a system in the game where you have to collect multiple to make an SR, an SR plus, then LR, then LR plus. But honestly, you get that over time, and I don't feel too much pressure when I'm playing this game. At least that's not how I treat it. And unlike some gachas where you bench your characters forever, here you can actually kind of build around the ones you like. I mean, the game doesn't really force you into meta picks unless you're deep in PvP and high rankings. Yes, there's PvP, but it's like kind of like a normal gacha PvP, whoever spends the most. But still, it's still kind of enjoyable. So that means that if you like a character for their music, their vibe, you can basically make them work, and that is rare. Honestly, because it's relaxing in a world where every gacha game kind of screams for your attention, except a few, of course, MementoMori kind of just whispers to me. It doesn't really overwhelm me with any systems. It doesn't really stress me out with event grinds. It's kind of a anti-gacha game. And yeah, there's no sweeping narrative, there's no shonen level fight choreography, but there's some kind of beauty about that. The music, the art, the stillness, especially the water still art. I mean, if you just look at the gameplay I've been showing you already, it's really beautiful. The characters especially. It's kind of like watching a slow anime on a rainy day. Nothing explodes, but something in you shifts. So is Memento Mori for everyone? No, I wouldn't say so. But if you need action, story, and constant interaction, this might bore you to tears. But if you're looking for something different, something low-key but oddly emotional, something where gameplay takes a backseat to atmosphere, I would say go ahead and try it. It's not going to be your main game, but it might be one you come back to when you just want to chill. And honestly, we all kind of need a game like that.